second degree, welcome. Let's do our warm-up. I don't think I'll be disoriented in this space. I mean, you know, like, are you gonna forget your form because you're in a new space? Okay, other side. Inside. And outside. All right, and foot forward. Yeah, that's why I said, look at the, if you look at the window to the office, that's all classroom space, all the way to that window and to that wall.
Because you can hang a curtain and pull it easily too.
What?
You can hang a curtain if you wanted. Like, you're running two classes at once in the future.
I don't think the space is helpful for, I don't think it's two class room. So. Also, there's another entrance and a staircase going to be there too. And switch. Maybe for a private lesson or something. I could see that for a private lesson. All right, transiting. And switch.
Came up with a transition.
Came up with it? Probably Chen Feng. ancient Chinese concept.
So really.
Yeah.
And you learned about it above and beyond the name and the motion of it?
Oh, it is the end all and be all of Tai Chi, is to get your silk feeling through all of your moves. That constant feeling of motion through your body. Yep, it's not just your arm moving. Chan Si Jing is, the root begins in the feet, springs up through the legs, is executed through your waist and expressed in your fingers. And are you doing that? So, for this form, we need to work on it, because I see that for punches, when the punch should be from coming through the body, not stopping in the hips and then the arm shoving out. So that's what the external system is called broken energy. So, yeah. All right, let's do this one too. All right. Release.
We're gonna wash the marrow.
Sorry?
We're gonna wash the marrow.
Oh, we could do the washing the marrow one. That's a good reminder. That one feels so good anyways. One or two more. And release. All right. Let's do the form together. Find a spot that you know you'll have room. Thankfully, we have a lot more room this way. we did. And, yeah, if you can't see me, well, let's see how I'm on or off camera though. I haven't checked this out. So, oh, that's right, I'm on the other side. I gotta flip it. So, oh, I know. I need to enlarge it.
Oh,
Wait. Yeah, so I can see. Okay, I see where you are. So I can still be here. Hey, you may not be able to see me from the beginning, but you can follow Mr. Haley. And we'll space each other out a little bit.
I can go right there.
Yeah, if you want to. Begin.
Cheers.
Lots more fun as a group. Before y'all are so far away from me. Feels like a normal class.
Can't see you most of the time.
It won't be a normal, that's right, yeah, further away is easier to see. But pretty soon I'll be back in the old days and I'll be right here and you'll be right there.
But that shows me how much I was relying on the mirror.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to help. There's certain parts, it's like, I can't cheat on the mirror.
Yeah. Well, well, I mean, you can when I have the mirrors here behind us because every time you turn, we can see a side view. So you'll be able to see if you're Mr. Weiner and you're in this corner, you can look in the mirror and you can see the class.
Yeah, but there's a lot of times where I'm here,
Uh-huh.
and I'm cheating my pace by walking,
Yeah.
back there. That's
Oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're following my pace, but you can't see me.
right.
Question?
Oh, my question, but you might want to put a mirror just on that part, angle down a little bit.
That's not a bad idea. Actually, I like that. Huh. Huh. Interesting.
I had a question, but
I want to get a little motor for it. So go, hey, we're gonna have Miss Sutcliffe's coming back to class later this week or next week.
Okay.
Yeah, she got her schedule worked out. She just wants to start coming to class again. So it's gonna be good for questions. We will have questions.
yeah, I had a question, but it totally. I thought of it while we were doing it, and by the end of it, I was like, yeah, it's gone.
Yeah. Hey, if it's a good enough question, we'll find it again. Okay. Well, let's have Mr. Haley lead it, and I'll watch. And the reason I'm asking you to lead it is so I can pick something out to kind of go. Okay, we'll work on that today.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I'm going to watch all three of you just from the side. You kind of come up to, I think right about here is good for 3 people in the room. Yep, take your time. Good, good. There you go. nice job, especially for a new space and no mirrors. So, there are two parts I want to look at for us as a group before we switch over to fan. And the first part is the opening, right? So we've come here, okay, and we're here, and we come to do our Buddha stamp. Okay, so we come to do a Buddha stamp here, up, and down. When it comes up down, think about, this will be kind of mechanical, but think about it bouncing to your left shoulder and then being thrown out from your left shoulder, like you could say your quadrants, like you have your center line, and then you have another line this way. So you have your, from my perspective, or from your perspective looking at yourself, this upper quadrant on the left. So it comes up to the left, and then it, as I remember I squatted, so I've both knees are bent, it bounces to here, and then it shoots out to there. It's like, shoots to the lower, not so much to the lower, let's just say maybe towards the mid, but it's almost like diagonal from here to here, and it creates that whole circle. And that whole circle comes from you turning back and forth a couple times, even if they're micro turns or they're internalized turns, but you can bring the turns out a little bit. So I'm going to show you from the front again, then I'll turn around and have you follow. So we come for Buddha stamp, and we're here, boom. We can let it bounce here, which doesn't have a turn. It's just boom, boom. Well, I guess it could have a turn kind of, because you'll turn to the left. So you're here, it'll turn to the left. So you're not going to feel it coming to your left shoulder because of your shoulder muscles. You're actually just going to feel like you hugged it into your chest. But if your both knees are bent and you turn to your left and hug to your chest, it'll be thrown to the left. Does that make sense?
Sure.
It's thrown to the left more than you saying, I'm going to keep my hips still and bring it up to the left, which feels like muscle tension, muscle tension, muscle tension to do that, right? But if I just turn to the left and bring it straight in, and the momentum takes it to the left shoulder a little bit, okay? Then when I turn back, it's thrown out. Then when I bring it back, I get a bunch of turns out, and it's going to end with one of those turns, including picking up the knee and stepping out, right? I didn't want to show you that one yet, but anyways, so here, here, here. Sorry, so think about it. We're taking something that we're doing automatically and making it conscious and then making it unconscious again. Here, turn, whip, turn, turn, turn. So no time does my shoulder have to do that. My elbows have to lift. Yeah, and actually for our punches that we've been working on, if we also think shoulder elbow lowered, you can't do this if you think shoulder elbow lowered. If you think shoulder elbow lowered, then to keep punching, you'd have to turn to get that punch, right? So that's just, I'm just thinking of the 10 important points for that. Although that's two different moves. If we're stepping to do our punch, and we stop at 50-50 or stop at center, and then still try to punch over there, it lifts. But if I think, oh, I can't lift my shoulder and elbow, then I'm like, well, I can't punch further than this without turning the body and the hips and the shoulders. So I said I would do it the other way. So you can copy from behind. So you're here, come up, you come down, you lift up, and you go down, boom. You just turn the hips, and there it comes to the left shoulder without trying. And then throw it out there by turning. See, the shifting happens too. And then keep circling, boom. And we didn't add the legs yet. If we can get, when you do all that, one sign that it's right is that you don't feel any effort in your arms, right? You didn't feel like you had to move your arms. You were just, oh, it's almost like Phoenix spreads wings. If you can get the Phoenix spreads wings started, it's not about the arms, right? It's feeling it from your center in that direction. We'll try that once or twice at home too. Try it once or twice. And then the other correction area I was looking at was rat crackers. which, by the way, is the same concept with the hips. So when we get to it, it's just using Fa Jing instead. Yeah. Feel how smooth that is? That's so good. Yeah. And that's, I mean, now you're going to beginner Tai Chi class also. You're going to be like, oh, your turn, you know? Don't put your arm over there, you know? Kung Fu has it too, but it manifests differently. Because I can do an outside tiger block, but I'm keeping my core steady, right? And so I am needing to use my muscles and my power of my arm strength separately, but with a good base. Whereas this is actually not using it separately. It's only using it as a unit.
I think I noticed the turning with the basic sense of span is the least. It's like, oh, it doesn't feel less.
Yeah, it's
Sir,
funny. Yes, sir.
Whenever we've done this, it's always been looking over here. At what point? So,
Okay, before you ask your question, because we didn't do the step will negate a turn. Because it'll swing our arms out forward for the step. So what we did was we followed through with the movement as if we didn't step. As if we didn't step. If we step, it's going to stop it and keep our shoulders more square. But still, I would be turned away. So let's add the step. That's what you're asking about, how to connect it to the step. That's my interpretation. Okay, so connecting it to the step. Let me see if I can do it on the camera and breaking it down. So we have this guy here, boom, we have a turn, a whipping out, and a turn. But here I have to now step. So right here, just like the fan form, I need to pick that foot up with that. So when I'm turned away is when the step happens. Right? Because that's going to give me the best counterbalance. When my arm and my momentum is going this way, then it's easiest for me to pick this one up because it's lighter, because the weight and the momentum is the opposite. And I can step further because the counterweight and momentum's opposite. And that's where you get that. Boom. There's the catching of it. And then I'm able to turn. Yeah.
because in a lot of the forms, we're looking here, and then
Yeah, that's, yes.
we're looking here, and then we're coming.
Yeah, and that looks so much better just because of the looking, but it wasn't looking for the sake of looking, it was looking for the sake of leading, because where you look leads the movement. I'm sure you've never read that in C.K. Chu's book, but eye spirit leads it all. Well, so does the waist, but anyways. But you've seen that where I go, do that example where I say, hey, look at that window over there. No one does this, right? Everyone does that, and they turn. And the head turns and the body turns, because the head turns. So you took ballroom dancing or some kind of social dancing. Social dancing has that same thing. If I look that way, I can go that way. I don't try to move the person that way with my arms. I have to lead with my body turning, right? So here's that body turning. It's not social dancing, but it has that feeling to it where you look.
We can expect the same thing in fan.
Yes,
Look
yes.
there.
And it also makes it end up looking good. Like if you're performing it for an audience, it makes it actually also look good. But rarely, if you go back to self-defense, rarely would you just punch without turning and looking at what you're doing. The body has that. Okay, wrap crackers. Yeah, let's just. I want to introduce you to it again on the wrap crackers, so that you change wrap crackers. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to pick random wrap crackers. So rather than let me come in and out of the camera. So rather than coming over from wrap crackers and keeping the hips completely still and going like this, or even this, we got to get the turning. See, my hips are turning. So I have turn, right? So these guys are doing the whip, right? So, but they end up timing out at the same time. But they're not just the hips staying still. It's not the hips staying square and just opening. It's feeling, and it's going to feel better when you just do this cross stance like this. it feels tightness and pain through here because it's so static. When you let it step, where the hips go hips down, hips down, hips down, hips up. That is actually easier because it doesn't isolate my thighs to do the work. It's pushing off both feet to do the work. But when you speed it up and tighten it up, it will almost look like I didn't use my hips, except for you looking for it. Like, let it be. Yes, that's a step in the right direction. No pun intended. But you can step up and use it. I'm just scooting you back to so I can get closer to the camera for anyone watching at home. Yeah. You got it. Yeah, and then. Yeah. Yeah. Just to get those hips to spiral, to get the hips to turn. You were doing. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's better.
I don't feel like
Feels less powerful?
well, no, but it feels like I only do one turn. So it's like, I can feel that I turn this way, but I just want to turn this way and then come back to the center.
Well, once you get there, turn back this way first and then turn both ways. So, because it's a rat cracker, you want to get the wind up on both.
Right.
So you had, like I said, it's in the right direction. You crossed and you created one, and then you turned back from it and you went boom. And I'm like, well, no. Go. Actually, cross your arms and then, yeah, you can stay with me. Cross, and no, like, take your step. I just stepped to here and cross, and you were doing ba. And I'm saying, no, keep your arms here, turn your hips right, and then turn your hips left. So it's going to go right, left. So it's a right, left. That's better. But it's not quite it. Even not my critique of you doing it. My critique of the explanation of it, that wasn't quite it either. But you can stumble onto it. 1, 2. Now just get that. Boom. Yeah, there you go. How about turn right to hit? So left is up here, right to hit, then left to hit, and then right left. So it ends up being so soon that you get to have your cake and eat it too. Yeah, and you just speed it up, and the net result was like it'll look like you did a double back fist, like in some kung fu form, but you use the power of your hips. Yeah, that's getting it. Yeah, and then watch Chen Bing also, he tightens it up, like this becomes, so that it really ends up being both hitting simultaneous when the hips square. But he doesn't start there, he creates that fa jing in there, and it's not just squat fa jing, or squatting and doing it, it's to get the twist for both to have power. With the fourth student, and less virus, we get the 2 hand pads out, and you just have one hand pad here, one hand pad here, and you go, and you get them, and you're like, oh yeah, that was effortless and powerful. If it's a lot of effort and power, or weak, and we know you can try different ones. All right. So those are the 2 things for that form. We have time if you want to do the fan.
Sure.
Do you have a fan here? I came across it in today's going through the file. I was very excited. I'm like, there! I don't have to suddenly try to find my fan in the pile. Oh yeah, get a drink too. It's okay. Hopefully you like the fact that the AC works here. It's 67 degrees in here right now. That's how I like it. And, well, that's with the paper on the windows. If the paper's off the window, it might be warmer. But still.
It smells like paint.
Oh, it's gonna smell like paint for weeks, yeah. They're not done. We get the red in next weekend, and then the guy has to build my thing over there, which will smell like, see the metal on the floor? That's to build the platform. Stuff, so.
Where are the lions?
What?
The lions are outside? I didn't notice them.
Yes, I will.
Over here? Yeah, you're not on Facebook, but I had a really, really cool, very, very thankful for 2 parents that stepped up.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people stepped up to help, but for the lions in particular, remember Christina? She started with me when she was in Little Dragons, 4 years old. She's 13 years old now, and her dad runs a tree company that trims trees and cuts down. Yeah, there's just no place to sit. If you want to just sit right there, it's fine. So he owns a crane, like that can move big trees. And then Luciano, he's 5 years old. He's in my Little Dragons, and his dad offered to bring a truck with a trailer, so we were able to get both lions at the same time on one trailer, and then bring them down here, and then we just place them. So they're out there. They look amazing. I met with the sign guy today, so I'll get my sign design bid, kind of whatever. And met with the mirror guy today, and we meet with him tomorrow morning. So there's lots of things. The pile is the thing for me. I think I can get it by this weekend. That's my goal, to have the whole floor useful by Monday. All right, here we go. Fan form. Gotta figure out where I am. Okay, good. That looks good. And begin. Very good. Do you need a change?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, come on through, okay? Just kind of along the back, but not behind the camera. Oh, no, it's okay, we'll have this all figured out, but don't go behind the camera. Yeah. Just don't want the cords to get tripped. And the bathroom on the right at the end of the hall, that's the one to use, for right now. Yes? Question?
I know, I wasn't expecting a lot of echo with the first.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, once we get stuff,
Yeah, okay.
we don't have stuff. I mean, we have stuff. You know. Yeah, but. Yeah, I don't know, maybe painting the ceiling makes it more reflective of sound, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the wall.
this is too long. I like how the gong sounds. This is not the end, Hogan. Hogan. It sounds nice. Okay, if there's aren't any questions, I was gonna have someone else lead, just to pick out things to work on. No questions? We get lots of them with the suckler back. She hasn't been in class in months. All right. Yeah, I was gonna have Ms. Burns, because you did do that too, and also, she wants to lock this form in. Nothing like forming it to lock it in. All right, so yeah, scoot on off or whatever is fine. I'm gonna watch from the door side in case people come in for class. And whenever you're ready.
Again?
Okay, very good, very good, very good. Your seat? Oh, you're in your car. Go on, there's fine. All right. That was pretty good, actually. This is when you practice a lot. You like it?
I feel more comfortable with it.
Yeah. You have a good sense of it. Oh, questions first. No, we already did that. No questions. Well, let's do one that was a correction that I saw, okay? And it's one we've covered before, and I'll do it facing the camera. Well, I don't know if I can do it facing the camera quite yet, but. Anyways, we've flipped this guy and we've dropped, right? And we come forward, and then when this one comes through, it's one continuous motion, and then it spirals up, and then it should go flat like this in front of you. Yeah, it should stay flat like this. Yep. And then it opens up to be passed off to the other hand to then jump. Right? Let's go through that again. Just make sure we got it. So we're basically dragging on the ground, come up with the fist, block and come up, and spiral, and stop. And when we stop, the feet are together. Feet are together. And then look, you try to get the fan to be flat. Yeah, it'll make you flex your wrist a lot. Yeah, it'll just really be hard to get it flat. Okay. And then, when you do that, your body's turning to the left, which leads it to pass off to the left hand easily. And then it's a wind up, just like southern legs. Sorry, I'll get back on camera for you guys. Come down, you flip it over, the shoulders turn to the left because you flipped it over to pass it off to your right. Pass it off from your right to your left. And that little twist and bend and squat is just like in southern legs when we're about to do a kick and we turn. And we open it up. All right. Give that a try once or twice just to make sure. Is that good? I saw one more thing I just remembered. When you do the cloud hands, this is a common mistake from Kung Fu. I'll do them towards the cross behind clouds. I'll do it towards the camera, right? I'm doing them wrong right now. But what I'm doing wrong is not obvious unless you look at my foot that steps behind. The foot that steps behind can't step on the pinky. You're just asking to misstep and twist your ankle, okay? So just be sure whenever you do cross behind movements that you're touching the ball of the foot. Ball of the foot. Ball of the foot. Ball of the foot. Even if it adjusts to be parallel, even if I step here and now I make my feet even, and I step here and make my feet even, I'll go from this to here. Even if I step here, make sure it's the ball and you're not leading with the side of the foot. Ball of the foot, so that you could, just ask yourself, could you push off from this? No, you can't push off from your pinky, but you could push off from here. I could go right to a crane. So it happens, it's a common Kung Fu mistake. And it often happens with overreaching by stepping behind. Like overreaching, stepping behind. You know, like if I'm really trying to step farther, I might go to the edge of my foot to get it. And it's like, no. If you want to step farther, you squat down. Like that one move. Wait, it's in this form, right? Is that, what form is it? Yeah, when we step further through. Yeah, right after the kick, yeah. Right, that steps, still steps through to the ball of the foot. Okay? Okay. We don't really have time to, we need some transition time. So let's just line up. That's a lot of corrections. honor the masters who came before us and seek to follow their examples.
Not a Grand Master.
Thank you. Bow to third degree, second degree, advanced black hat class.